Hello, welcome, thanks for joining me. I've got a show tomorrow and I don't know, my head's just doing the thing that it does. I guess the jitters is the best word for it. I've got the jitters. But I also have are new wheels, new tyres, a new stem, which is pretty cool. Today's session is about making sure I can do all the tricks in the show. That's kind of it. Maybe going over the show as well, making sure I can do all the tricks. So years and years and years and years ago, over 20 years ago, the director said to me, this is when I was making up the BMX act for the circus, he said, can you do something slow and then pause? And so that's where the peg wheelie into the lawnmower went. And then he said, okay, and now can you do something dynamic after that? That's where the boomerang came into it. They wanted me to repeat this boomerang 3 times, and that gives the audience a nice... that allows the audience to just soak in what's going on and what's happening and to appreciate what's going on, which is really lovely. And it's like, at that point, it's like I'm dancing with the bike. And coming into the hang fives, into the hops, into the funky chicken, that was another part where it was like, okay, I need you to take up the whole stage, and then can you maybe come into the middle and do something there? I was like, oh yeah, what about this? So the hang five into this trick into a funky chicken, and they're like, yeah, cool. And it seemed to work really well. Sometimes I get stuck in the funky chicken. Doesn't happen often, but sometimes in the show I do get stuck and fall off and have to get back on there. Oddly enough, it is that sequence that I reckon I put the most stress on the wheels and the tyres, because I'm jamming the bike around and jumping and at weird angles, and that's where the 48s would hold up really well. And this trick is just a breather in the show between all the other tricks. I just use it to just chill, and then I do this trick next, and that's kind of used to sort of chill as well. Oddly enough, doing the peg wheelie into the decade is something that if I practice, I don't seem to get near as consistently as if I just do it. So quite often I don't even warm it up in the show, I just go for it. Sometimes I miss it twice and just do a normal decade, but mostly I get it. And I'd love to be able to ride into the lard yard, but I just can't. I can't. So I get off the bike, I turn the bike around and go into a lard yard, and it works. It's okay. Everyone's okay with that. The 360 bunny hop, the rock walk and the wheelie are the reason why I ride with the freewheel. Perhaps one of the most unexpected responses in the show that I get is from a backwards peg wheelie. The audience love it. They're like, no way, wow, how does he do that? No, it's cool. I can't remember what this trick's called, but again, this is where the audience goes, whoa, wow. I call it riding sideways. In the show, I call this one riding upside down, and I build up to it. So by the time I'm doing it, the audience is like, whoa. And then if this happens where I touch the ground and have to stop, I just run back to the corner and say, just pretend I'm still going, just pretend I'm still going. And the audience laughs, and then I will push off and flip the bike around and go upside down. They're like, wow, that's amazing. And they're really blown away. And again, it's one that I don't really practice, because when I do practice it, I don't seem to get it as often. So I kind of just pull it out in the show. The other reason I have a freewheel, perhaps one of my favourite tricks, I do it twice in the show. And of course, getting up onto the handlebars. With all the issues that I had last year, I don't practice it that often because I know I can do it. And as long as I can get my feet up, that's it. So once upon a time, I used to try and get up there 10 times in practice, and then at least 3 times during the practice just before the show. But now I'll do it once. If my feet get up there, then that's good enough, and I'll leave it there. And just for good measure, another mega spin. They're getting better, but I still would like to just sit there and spin for as long as I want. And one day I'll get the time machine and I'll put that in the show as well.